All right, welcome back to What's in the Bag for Men's League, Thursday Night Men's League. And I know I was messed up last week. I think I said week 8. Last week was week 9. This is week 10. Halfway through the league season. Our season's 20 weeks long. Halfway through. Crazy to think that we're halfway through. I mean, it feels like we just started yesterday. But last week, I'm going to get hammered for admitting this, but I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I always am. I don't lie about my game. Uh, I shot a 49. So I went from 3 weeks of like 34, 38, 37, and I just shot a 49 last week. Came in dead last when it came to gross score for all the guys in the league. I came in dead last. I was everywhere. First 2 holes, OB on one tee shot. I developed a slice out of nowhere. I'm a guy who draws and hooks the ball everywhere. Developed a slice for whatever reason. Every club in the bag just was going dead right. Off the tee, aimed it down the right side, OB right. Number 2, aimed it down the right side, OB right. And then on 9, hit a ball that was just right, caught a tree. We never found it, took a penalty stroke there. So 3 penalty strokes on those 3 holes, and the rest of the round, I was just scrambling everywhere. Like I said, I don't know where the whole right thing came from. I played again over the weekend, was back to my usual draw. No idea where this thing popped up. Played terrible. I was ready to walk off the course by hole like 7. So in terms of what went well, nothing. Everything I hit was right at target. I couldn't figure it out. I was everywhere. Had a lot of early extension going on, so hitting a lot of shots thin, and just overall struggled. I didn't putt well. There was nothing in the back that I hit well that I can even think of. I was trying to think of good shots I hit, and there might have been like one iron shot that I hit solid. I think I made one par the entire night, and that was it. So it was an absolute struggle, absolute debacle last weekend. And yeah, this weekend or this week, a little different. So this week is actually kind of the middle of the season. Everybody throws in some money. We do a 4-man scramble, and we pay out top 2 or 3 groups. So this week's a little different. It's not a traditional week. And unfortunately, I'm not playing. So I will not be in the scramble. So what I'm going to break down is what I would have brought this week for week 10. I will be on a trip for Golf WRX. I will be out of town. I'll be out in San Diego, which of course means there's some new product I'm looking at, but I won't be playing. I'll be red-eyeing at home at the time everybody's playing. So this is the hypothetical, what would I play for week 10, Thursday Night Men's League. So we'll start at the top as usual, and I'm not even going to put it together because I'm not playing it, but I would be busting out my PXG Black Ops, the 0311 Black Ops, the standard head. This one here is the more forgiving model. It kind of touts the 10K stability. This one here, I would actually play it shaft-wise with the Graphite Design Tour AD XC 6X. Now, this is actually what I got fit into when I went out to the fitting day earlier in the year, the media day. This is what I got fit into, this combo. There's a 9-degree head with this shaft. And I actually hit it really well, which was interesting because this shaft and I previously had not really gotten along. I've hit it in some a little bit in driver, a bunch in fairway, just never really got consistent with it. But when I went out there, I probably hit some of the best draws of this shaft that I've ever hit. So kind of a mid-low launch, low-spin shaft. Good feel to it, really smooth. And then this head is very, very stable, ultra stable, ultra forgiving, which after last week's debacle is something I definitely need. Good sound and feel, and if you haven't hit any of the new PXG woods, they definitely stand up with everybody else now. So that would be the driver setup. And then into 3-wood, I would probably go with an old kind of faithful guy, something I'm used to hitting. Even though in scrambles you never hit 3-woods, you just never hit that shot. But I would break out the old trusty Titleist TSR2. This is one that I've had ever since it came out. It's set in the D1 setting, which is, I believe, a little bit strong. Just a touch down on loft. I think it's 0.75 down, which is interesting because I'm not a high ball hitter. But this, when I got fit into it, it just worked. And this is shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus TR Red 7X. But I've had this for, ever since it came out. Hit it really well. It makes it into the back quite often, and it's just one of those things that it's in a head that's easy to hit. It's forgiving, launches high. It just kind of fits my game really, really well. And I hit it against the 2 Plus because a lot of people ask me, why don't you have the 2 Plus? You hit it off the tee a lot. The 2 Plus just didn't spin enough. So when I was hitting the 2 side by side, I could actually hit the 2 Plus off the deck fairly well. I just couldn't hit it. It just didn't have enough spin. And this actually got up just a little bit higher and flew just a little bit further for me. So that's why I have the standard TSR2. If I went down to what would be 7-wood hybrid, I would definitely go back to hybrid, and I would go with the TaylorMade QI10 Rescue. So this is the standard model, 19 degrees in the 3. A great thing off the tee. Again, I probably wouldn't hit it much off the tee just because you're always taking more aggressive lines in a scramble. But I feel like the hybrid would be a little better tee shot or tee play as opposed to driver. This is just totally stock, bonded hosel, 19 degrees, and this just has the Fujikura Ventus TR Blue HB7S, so nothing fancy on this one. Stock everything. I actually haven't hit this in a little while, and when I have hit it, I've really liked it. I like that it's got just a slightly deeper face. The ball gets up pretty easily with it, and I think the shape is just really good. I think TaylorMade kind of nailed the shape with it. It looks really, really solid. So this would go in place of 7 wood. And then we get to irons, and I would go with the Callaway Apex Pro triple play set that I have. So the triple play is a mix of all 3 Apex Pro irons. So the Apex Pro would be the 4, 5, and 6 iron. So these are the hollow body, multi-piece design, a little more firepower. I play these in 4, 5, and 6. They're pretty actually forgiving. They feel good. They sound good. The turf interaction is phenomenal through the whole set. They have this little nice pre-worn leading edge, little trailing edge relief. They get through the turf really well. But the Apex Pro, a little larger in size. These are shafted up with steel fiber I-110s in stiff. And yeah, 4, 5, and 6 would be the 4 iron. And then you move into the 7 iron, and it is the Apex CB. So this is the, kind of single piece. We'll call it single piece. It does have like some tungsten and stuff in it, but single piece forged iron. I think shape-wise, this CB is probably one of my favorite irons to look at. It's a little more compact, but it just has a perfect blend of roundness to it. Very minimal offset, thin top line. It just looks really good when you set it down. And again, I think the sole design on this with the pre-worn leading edge and everything just gets through the turf well, even in soft conditions and for steeper players. But overall, just love the shape. Feel on these is extremely solid, very soft. But these would run 7 through 9 iron. And then the 10 and 11 iron, yes, 10 and 11 iron, so pitching wedge and gap wedge, are the Apex MBs. Now, these things are definitely super compact. They definitely have a very straight leading edge. A little kind of shorter from the bottom, so the face is a little shorter when you set them down, but extremely soft, very kind of workable in a sense. But they launch high, which is kind of nice because again, I don't hit it super high. They launch high, easier to hit in these 2 irons. I can get away with it. I mean, realistically, I should probably play pros the full way through, but the Apex MB is pretty awesome in these 2 irons. And when you get into the 11 iron, which is the gap wedge, it actually plays really well. Actually, I can use it right around the green, chip with it, hit little pitch shots, things like that. And it actually, other than not looking like a sand wedge, style wedge, it actually plays really, really well. It's pretty easy to get used to. And on full shots, it feels just like it's an iron in the set. Like it actually transitions really, really well. So I really like the 11 iron in the set. I think it blends really well with the rest of the set. So that would be the 11 and 10 iron in the MB. Then for wedges, I'd only need a sand and a lob wedge since I'm playing the gap wedge that matches the set. Excuse me. And the sand wedge is going to be the Mizuno T24. This is, excuse me, 56 S grind, 12 degrees of bounce. Kind of a fuller sole, but a little bit of trailing edge relief, a little bit of relief in the heel, so you can open this up a little bit. Extremely soft feeling wedge. Really soft, really responsive. And these actually put a good amount of spin on the ball. I know Mizuno isn't probably the first name everybody thinks of when it comes to wedges, but the T24 series that they did is really, really solid and offers really great feel to them. And honestly, I think if they offered a few more bounce options, you'd see a lot of more of these in a lot of bags. So really soft wedge, performs really well. This was kind of a gamer for probably half of last year for me, and I really like this wedge. I think it plays really, really solid. This has just the stock True Temper Dynamic Gold S400 in it, so a little heavier, 132 grams, but this thing plays really, really solid, and I think very versatile around the greens. Lob wedge, I was going to go with, back to an old trusty, the original Cleveland RTX full face. Now this is a 58. I bent it to 60, so now it goes from basically having 9 degrees of bounce to 11, and just having that little extra bounce, it plays really well. But I kind of like the high toe design in the lob wedge. Around Michigan or in the Midwest, you get a lot of lies around the greens that the ball's just sitting up. It's really deep rough. It's not super tight mode or anything like that. It's all deep rough. That ball can be sitting up a lot of times. And a lot of those shots, when you come through and the face opens to touch, you do hit it kind of high off the toe. So having a little more real estate up there, some more grooves, it does kind of help some consistency in getting that ball out and having it spin and check on the green. So this one here is, again, a really versatile wedge. Plays really well around the green. And this has a Nippon Modus Pro 125 wedge in it. Kind of one of my favorite wedge shafts. It's kind of more of a mid to lower flight wedge shaft. Really good feel, very consistent. But I played this for a while. This is one of the Tour Rack Raws, and as you can see, good amount of rust to the old guy, and still groove's in great shape. Still see everything there, so still offering a whole lot of spin. And then for putter, gonna go to a putter that I kind of, when I was moving stuff around, I kind of forgot that I had. But this is the Odyssey AI1 7S. So the 7S is going to be the one with the slant neck. So the little slant neck on it will offer a little bit of toe hang for the putter. So it's going to kind of flow through the stroke like a blade, but it's got stability like a mallet. And then the AI1 face that offers forgiveness. So when you do hit it off the toe or the toe or the heel, that face will react and control the ball speed and keep it consistent, whether it's a center strike, toe strike, heel strike, whatever. I've always been a big, huge fan of the number 7. I've played a majority of the models that are out there throughout my golfing career. This one's a little bit on the larger side. It's slightly larger, but I like the straight line, top line, sight line. And honestly, the AI1 insert feels pretty good. You can actually see a little window into it. On the bottom there, you can kind of see a little bit how that AI face works. So a really stable, really forgiving putter. And this just has basically the standard Odyssey grip on it. And this comes in at, I believe, 34 inches, so I just choked down a touch on it. But a really nice putter, and I've played a couple 7S's before and really like how they perform. So that will be my bag for Week 10 of Thursday Night Men's League. Again, unfortunately, I'm not playing, so next week I'll report back to you, but I won't have any experience with how I'm playing. But we'll get back into it shortly. Just have to take a little work trip. So Week 10, what's in the bag? That is it. We'll talk next week.